Hi there. As far as we know today, humanity is the only intelligent species there is. And while astronomers keep searching for extraterrestrials, it got me thinking, what if some other sentient life form were right here on Earth? What would they be and what would it mean for us? Think about it. Even if we find some other civilization among the stars, how prepared would we be to meet another intelligent being that isn't human? It could become a problem for us. But if we were used to sharing our home with other non-human civilizations, we'd be much more equipped to engage in negotiations with aliens. Who knows? Maybe we'd have already found them by now if we were prepared for that encounter by learning from other beings here on Earth. And this possibility isn't as abstract as it seems. Several scenarios could lead us to share our planet with another sentient species. They could have evolved for millions of years alongside us. They might have come here from another place somewhere among the stars. It could even be that we already live with some kind of planetary-scale neighbors right now, but still don't fully understand them. But we'll return to this point a bit later. At the very least, we aren't the only sentient species that ever lived on the Earth. I'm not talking about prehistoric lizard people or any other pseudo-scientific nonsense here. I'm talking about Neanderthals. They look very much like us and were also ancestors of primates. Their brains were even bigger than ours, and they used tools and cooked food. They weren't as intelligent as humans, but they had a way of communicating with each other. Then, some 40,000 years ago, they all went extinct, leaving us alone to build the foundation for our future civilizations. It's a sad story that we all know, except it's not entirely true. In reality, we lived alongside this similarly developed species for around 5,000 years. There's evidence in some remains found in the territory of today's Europe that humans lived with Neanderthals. And it even worked out quite well, actually. It's not enough that our DNAs are around 99% similar. There were humans who lived with them and had shared offspring, and it wasn't some unique case, but a common occurrence. To this day, parts of the Neanderthals' DNA, around 1 or 2%, are sometimes found in human DNA. So, we have our answer. If Neanderthals lived with us and never went extinct, we probably wouldn't even notice them now. We'd already be assimilated with each other too well to even separate who's a Neanderthal and who's a Homo sapien. Other than that Neanderthal down the block who plays his music really loud at 3 a.m. Or, in another case, if neither of us were keen on interbreeding, they'd have evolved and developed into a separate civilization just like we did. To us, they'd just be some separate nation that lives by its own rules and with whom we'd have economic and political relationships. But if we were to find out that some other life form had evolved until now and has nothing in common with us at all, that would definitely be another deal. And our prime candidates are not primate at all. Some social monkey-like creatures, like chimpanzees or gorillas, are capable of using simple tools and communicating with each other. Yet they feel quite comfortable in their own place and aren't rushing to be alongside humans. Cats, dogs, and crows are intelligent, sure, but their wit is all about adapting to humans and not necessarily evolving into something separate. Dolphins, though, they're our closest rivals in the way of intelligence. First, we need to clarify what qualifies as an intellectually developed species. The one of many signs of intelligence in a life form is its ability to think abstractly. This ability is demonstrated in complex problem-solving tests, which will verify if the subject, like a crow or an octopus, can solve a task by going through several steps. One important thing here: if the solution includes using some kind of tool, this tool shouldn't be familiar to the test subject. For example, you can leave an octopus with a small hammer and a container with a treat inside. It'll take some time, but the octopus will figure out that it can lift the hammer and that it's heavy enough to break the container. The fact that the octopus had never seen a hammer before shouldn't deter it. So, the solution doesn't come from the experience, but from the ability to immediately find a use for a tool based on its qualities. In other terms, some species can learn things and collect knowledge just like we do. That's impressive, but not enough. Abstract thinking implies a complex social behavior, which allows a species to communicate, pass on newly obtained knowledge, and cooperate on solving a problem. And on that level, only dolphins and whales can truly shine. It's already been proved that dolphins and some toothed whales have a complex system of signals, which even include calling each other by names. Their intelligence is quite developed, but absolutely alien to ours. Their only limitation to interacting with the world around them is their body, especially their lack of hands. They can only innovate and experiment as much as their bodies will allow them. Considering all that, a hypothetical world where we share our home planet with an intelligent ocean species is looking pretty good. The ocean covers more than half of the Earth's surface, and we have no major claims on that territory since we're used to living on land. Maybe they'd provide us better ways of navigation and transoceanic transportation, or ensure our safety in the ocean. After all, dolphins are already known to accompany ships and save people from drowning, even if, in all reality, it's more of a game for them than a real moral choice. Another possibility, yet quite outlandish, is that we, after all, will meet an extraterrestrial intelligent life. But what if, instead of an invasion or the start of some meaningful communication, we end up with space refugees? Imagine an alien spaceship coming to us in search of shelter and fuel. In this case, humanity would need to be extremely patient and tolerant, not only because it's the most human thing to do, but also because the reward for it could be absolutely game-changing. Imagine how much they could tell and teach us. Interstellar travel is, in itself, something we have only a vague idea about. But it could bring us so much more: sources of energy, recycling, or even communication. After all, these aliens will probably be unfathomably different from us, but they'll certainly be social enough to show us more advanced science and engineering than ours. This means that we'll have a chance to establish some kind of relationship. They'll probably be different in a physiological way too, and that means they might be better off finding their shelter underwater, in deserts, on ice, or on the highest peaks of Earth's mountains. Their science might allow them to use something we have in abundance as a source of energy or food. So, sharing a planet with another civilization wouldn't be a disaster if we don't prejudge and simply take our time to understand. Based on world history? Good luck with that. And finally, here comes a little plot twist. We're already becoming an excellent training ground for developing stable relationships with a vastly different kind of intelligence. And we're the ones who are creating it. I'm talking about artificial intelligence, of course. In its basic form, we have a clear understanding of how AI works. But here's the reason about half of the scientific community is openly arguing against any further development of this technology. Today, we have complete control over its simple forms, but that's only until it obtains the ability to learn and develop itself. The challenge with AI is that it has no bodily limits. It doesn't need us as much as we would probably need it. It's a tough thing to have an equal and fair relationship with something like that. Yet, the AI that we have now is a good way to prepare ourselves and make the best of it in every possible way. Hey, if you learned something new today, then give the video a like and share it with a friend. And here are some other cool videos I think you'll enjoy. Just click to the left or right, and remember, stay on the bright side of life.